Just got done flex day, Monday morning. Started mixing in some weights, some weightlifting with cardio. Do like 30, 45 minutes cardio. Heart rate would be at 120, 115. Then I'll hit some heavy weights. Get dressed at the office meeting. Same routine. But today I want to share with you something that made a huge impact. Made a huge impact in my life once I identified it, and maybe it's something you might be able to relate to. Like if you're struggling in areas where, like, you have more potential, there's a burning desire, there's something that's calling you to say, hey, you know what, like I believe you can do more. And maybe there's some obstacles in the way, right? Maybe there's some obstacles in the way that are keeping you from pursuing that. That shit can get frustrating because you see the bigger vision, like you see the bigger picture, but for some reason, like something's like holding you back. And so, a little bit about myself, and maybe you can relate, is in my family's like cycle. We have like a cycle, and let's use the right term, right? Let's use curse, right? Let's use a curse. Maybe it's a generational curse. Generational curse, right? What do we do about the generational curse? And so, one of the generational curses that I believe it's kind of like in my family is my father was heavily alcoholic. He took his life when I was 3 years old, and alcohol was always like in our lives. And after, when I was growing up, I would hear people say, well, this runs in my family. This is how this is how my dad was, or this is how my parents are. And so that's a good example of generational curse. So it goes deeper than that, right? Because we can say, you know what, like my family, maybe your family, maybe your generation, they're not big believers, they're not big thinkers. They're really, they just want to settle. They're complacent. Maybe whenever you start talking about, opening a business, going back to school or moving to a different city, they always give you a bunch of excuses. And so the reason why, because it's fear. Maybe fear plays a big role in your family as a generational curse. Maybe like fear's always been there in your family, and it's something that keeps it's just there, like it's in your family. Like you start talking about business, oh, that's not gonna work out, and I have a friend and they tried that and it didn't work. You're gonna get hurt. You're gonna end up on the streets. You're gonna be stressed out. You're gonna be like, why do you want all that stress? Why do you want all that anxiety? Why do you want to risk your savings that you work 10 years to have? Why do you want to risk your retirement? You work so hard for that retirement. Why don't you just stop and rest and relax? That thinking is also a generational curse. And so the thing with life and is, we never want to confront the obstacles. We never want to confront the challenges because we don't know what to expect. But most times, whenever you're put in a tight situation, you're going to trigger into survival mode. You're going to trigger into, let's figure it out. Let's figure out what we got to do. I got to get out of this. And you'll figure it out. And maybe you're trying to break that generational curse. Maybe you're saying, you know what, man, like, alcohol is a big thing in my family. Drugs are a big thing in my family. Maybe negative thinking is a big thing in my family. Maybe complacency is a big thing in my family. Maybe, You know, my parents never talked about money. My parents never talked about sex. My parents never talked about, you know, exploring the world. My parents never talked about, trying new things. You know, that can be a generational curse, and no one's gonna break it for you. You gotta do it yourself. Like you got to have faith, and you gotta say, you know what, I'm just gonna break the generational curse, because this curse is not gonna continue. This curse is not gonna continue for generations to generations, because if you choose not to break that generational curse, what's gonna happen is that curse is gonna be carried on to your kids. And if they decide not to break it, then it's gonna be carried on to their kids. So it just keeps continuing, like it keeps going. And so until you decide, hey, you know what, like I'm not gonna allow this negative thinking. I'm not gonna allow my parents to tell me I can't do something. You know, maybe, Warren Buffett. You know, if you read the book Snowball Effect, Warren Buffett had a very strange relationship with his mom, because she was very like a negative thinker, and he knew that he couldn't be around her that long, because he didn't want that to be, he didn't want to absorb that. And so he decided to break that generational curse by saying, you know what, I'm going to go out and develop these businesses. I'm going to be a business owner. I'm going to start making money. I'm going to figure out how this works. And so he broke the generational curse that his mom had this negative view on the world, and she was always, belittling him. She was always, verbally abusing him at a very young age. And they knew that that's just the way she was. So they knew that they needed to not associate with her as much. And it's funny in the book, because like there'll be times when he goes and visits his mom, but he only goes for a certain amount of time, because he knows after a certain amount of time she gets real comfortable and she starts just like talking just crazy, right? And so he decided to break the generational curse, and it's changed his whole think about it. Like, he broke the generational curse for himself. He says, you know what, I don't want this to be carried on to my kids. I don't want this negativity to be, I don't want to be like my mom, where I'm like negative or whatever, right? So he decided to break that curse, and because of that, look how many people's lives he's changed. Think about it. Whenever you decide to break the generational curse, you're not just helping yourself. You're helping your kids. You're helping your kids' kids. You're helping their kids' kids. But you also change the people around you, the people that you associate with, because then after a while you start to inspire people. People start to say, man, I want to do what he's doing. I want to open that business. I want to open multiple businesses. I want to invest in real estate. I want to travel. I want to meet these, people. I want to get coaching from them. You become an influencer, and you start to change people's world. So maybe the generational curse today is like, it's fucking with you. Maybe it's haunting you. It's on your back. It's like a weight on your shoulder. Let it go, man. Let it go. One time someone real close to me asked me, like, what are you going to do if this happens? What are you going to do if this happens? What are you going to do if this happens? And I said, you know what? I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I know my faith is bigger than whatever obstacle presents itself, and we'll overcome it. Sure enough, like, you get presented obstacles and you just overcome them. So hey guys, hey, thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the bell button so you can get notifications for these massive action videos. Later guys.